Hey YouTube, just a quick update on the 71 Thunderbird build. I've watched several fellow modelers' YouTube channels about detailing the engine, especially the distributor cap and the wire to the cylinders. Found this on Amazon and I'm hoping this has the rigidity I need. The wires are hooked, so let's see. Yeah. Okay, good. I test fit the distributor cap piece to the engine block, then scraped and sanded both the engine block and the piece until I got a really good fit. Before I paint the engine, I just double checked it for any minor gaps and I filled those in. I've decided to kind of scale back. To add those additional hoses and everything would require a structure off the side here and another pulley, and I looked through the spares. I don't have anything like a pulley. I'm not going to go that far. I will wire the engine for the spark plugs to the distributor, and I've watched several videos on that. I want to definitely try that. Next, I test fit the pulleys and belts with the alternator, and then cleaned up those pieces using my FlexiFile band sander. On the paint front, I did mix these paints. I tested them. This is the body color. I think it's still a little too dark, so I'm going to add some white to it, but I'm really happy with, the shine and everything of that. And then this is the dark blue. These look pretty good too, and they seem a little duller, which is fine, because they're going to go on the roof and the interior. I may toy with shades of that and throw a few drops of black. And then this is the base coat for the spastics. So I put that down and that's dry now. So now I'm going to put the spastics mirror chrome on there and see how that looks. Doing some final touch up on these parts as I'm cleaning them. I'm kind of giving them one last look over. For instance, on this part, I want to open up that pipe. Same thing, I opened up the end here, test fitted and sanded these exhaust manifolds, and I trimmed back the steering column. That looks more realistic. I want this to be a vinyl top. I'll pop some reference photos in here. The edge of the vinyl top follows the curve of this body line from the rear window trim back along here and then folds over here. So I have 0.5 millimeter square styrene rod. So I'm going to fashion 2 of those. So I've drilled out these manifold pipes and cleaned up this peg. With this alternator on there, it's just kind of floating out in space. So I dug through the spares and I found this. I like this piece just from here to there. Basically what I want to do, create a bracket that holds this up against the block here, holding this piece like this. That'll go like that, right in the center. As I'm getting ready to paint and I'm going through this, so the valve covers, I didn't realize, and as I look at the references now, I do realize that those go on there. They're just chromed for the custom version, because it says here, note, painting chrome parts is optional. So I'm going to put this chrome piece on before I paint this whole thing blue. Thank God I caught that. So I test fit and glue those chrome valve covers in place on the engine block. Hey, another stash ad. You guys are really having an influence on me. It's the American La France Ladder Chief by AMT. 1 to 25. Okay, cool. So that'll look cool next to the cars. If you have an Ace Hardware, you may or may not know that most Ace Hardwares have an entire aisle dedicated to hobbies, models and rocketry, stuff like that. And then on the end cap of that aisle, at least in my Ace Hardware, they have a clearance rack. And I saw this, and it was regularly $60, on sale for $40. So I gave it a second look and I said, you know what? Next time there's a big rig group build, I'm going to jump in on that. Well over 300 detailed parts, more than 100 brilliantly chromed. So those are all the parts and the decals it comes with. All right, so there you go, stash ad. To drill out the spark plug openings in preparation for wiring the engine, I used the wire to find the correct size drill bit for my pin vise drill. Then used the sharp point from my compass to mark starter holes in the cylinder head. Then drilled all 8 holes, and finally test fit the wire into the holes. Finally there, all the pieces are clean and ready to paint. And I think I'm going to start with the bottom. So I have this new can of Testors Flat Black. I have not sprayed a model with a spray can since I think one of the early Blue Angels. So I'm looking forward to trying that again. And this is that Spastics. It's okay. It's not as reflective as I thought it would be, but I may have screwed up the base coat, so I still got a little more experimenting to do. But in the meantime, I can get started with the black and a couple of these other colors. I go about spraying the black on the chassis, the pulleys, the radiator and hose, and the drive shaft and differential, finishing with the inside of the hood. And then the inside underneath the hood. There's actually a paint, a Testors paint called GM/Ford Engine Blue. So I ordered that. I'm waiting on that. I airbrushed Testors steel non-buffing metallizer on the exhaust manifolds and the rest of the exhaust system. Then did the same with the aluminum non-buffing metallizer on the carburetor and transmission. So this goes on here. That looks pretty cool. Following up on the paint colors, I thinned down the light blue and the dark blue and the black in the larger bottles in the back. And then in the front is where I mixed those colors with the white to lighten up that light blue even further. Then next with the black to darken the dark blue even further. So here are the results, which I'm pretty happy with. I told you the first time I saw my brother's car was in at night and I thought it was white. So I've lightened up this light blue to where it's almost white. Conversely, I thought the dark blue wasn't dark enough. So I darkened that up with 40% black, and I'm pretty happy with those results. Maybe something like this on the car, right? I'll use this for the interior, for the seats, the dashboard, everything except the floor. I just watched a video where a modeler actually took the interior color again down a shade and did the carpet and the firewall. And I really like that effect, so I think I'm going to do that. For the chrome, so this is the Spastics, and it's okay, but everyone on YouTube who's tried it raves about that Molotow. I went out and purchased just the ultra thin head pen and then a refill, because you can also airbrush it. So I'm waiting on that. And one more thing about the paint, if you recall, I liked this color for the engine. However, while I was researching other things, I found that Model Master actually makes a color called GM/Ford Engine Blue. So I ordered that. So speak of the devil, I just went out and checked the mail and this was in there. Yeah, I guess it's a little darker. So this arrived and I could do the engine now. I prepared the battery, the master cylinder, the alternator in its new bracket, and the fan, then airbrushed them with Testors Gloss Black. Next, I masked and hand brushed the gas tank with the non-buffing aluminum. Next, I hand brushed gloss black on sections of the radiator, the pulleys, leaving the belts flat black, and the distributor cap. Moving to the interior of the car, I wanted to do the floor an even darker color. So I mixed the flat black, which takes it down a little bit, which is perfect because this is a gloss and this is a flat. I mixed it down even further. That probably looks black on camera, but it's actually just a deeper blue. That one's probably 65. This one's more like 50-50. Now this color, I've loaded the cup and I'm gonna shoot that now. Next, I prepped and painted the new fluid container, the oil filter, and the dials within the dashboard with Testors Gloss White. After masking off the transmission, I airbrushed the new Ford Engine Blue on the engine block and air filter. I have pretty much everything except the body painted and then the interior. So I hit this with white and then I'm gonna do what I learned, the dials in there. These arrived, these Molotow liquid chrome that everybody on YouTube raves about. So I'm gonna try to load the refill into my airbrush to do these two bumpers. on the body for the badging and some of the parts on the exterior of the car, all the trim around the windows, so on and so forth. I'm anticipating using the pen. Hey, I just want to take a minute out here just for a pure modeling moment. So I know I've made a lot about this being my first car, but I've reached a point where, like, I don't know whether to do the engine first or do this trim next, or try this Molotov on the parts, and like, I'm building a car. So I just want to take a moment out and just, you know, for the pure enjoyment of the hobby. So thanks to all you guys for encouraging me to build a car. Here is where I'm at on wiring the engine. I tried to drill out the actual distributor cap piece, and to have a bit big enough that this wire will fit into, I can't get 8 holes around there, and tried to drill on the knobs like I've seen in a couple of videos, and I just can't do it. So I went to the spares box and I found this piece, and it's just a round piece, close enough for me for the circumference of the distributor cap piece. Starting with a punched hole, I was able to get 8 holes within that circumference. So that's where I'm at on this, and then now I'm going to cut that off there, cut the bottom off of this and attach that to there. I cut the new piece off the sprue and cleaned it up, then attached it to the bottom of the existing distributor cap piece. Once dry, I then painted the new distributor cap gloss black. I also painted the cap of the new fluid container piece gloss black as well. And I'm really happy with the way the engine came out with that blue and the air cleaner. So if you see this raised piece, that's basically what I'm mimicking, and you can see it goes from the base of the C-pillar back and then over this hump. What I've done is just started shaping it, and with these tweezers, they're nice. I can bend it, so I've got that going over that hump or you know, body line down, and now I've made the turn to go across. You probably can't see it, but I have very light pencil mark here, kind of giving me an idea of where that goes, and it curves ever so slightly. How do I hold that in place to hit it with the Tamiya light cement? Because that capillary action is just going to run. So how do I get it in exact place and hold it to then apply the glue? Like, that's the perfect line right there. How do I hold it? I need a third person to apply the glue. That's what I need. I think I need somebody to come down here. Okay, so you see this right here? Yeah. I'm replicating that on this car. I need somebody to glue it while I hold it. You don't remember this stuff?
Oh, yeah, I do.
You remember you just, you know, touch it a little off of there and then just go on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, right there. Run it along the top of that line. Just from like my blade down to that turn.
Okay.
Good. Okay, right there.
Where?
From underneath, yeah, start there and go stop. Think it looks like that?
Yeah, I think it looks fine.
Okay, good. Can I call you down a little while? I want to bend this corner, and it may take me a while to get it right.
Sure.
Thank you, sweetie. So I just want to show, this came out pretty good. So this is the second one I did. It has a slight more flare there. I think this is the way it's supposed to look. The first one I did, a little less flare, but I'm equally as happy. So there you go, kind of final result. I think it came out pretty good. That will demark where I start the painting of the darker color, the roof color. All right, I'm going to test this Molotov liquid chrome. Back when I was working on the Apollo command module, I tested these Alclad. I'm actually going to shoot it over that. I want to try it on a few different mediums. I may shoot it over this. Use that over a white one. 20 psi. So it has a funnel. Wow. I don't think I need to go any further than that. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. They're identical. Okay. Done deal. And I immediately proceeded to painting the two bumper pieces with that incredible Molotov stuff. So, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but wow. I mean, like identical. Unbelievable. The Molotov, highly recommended. We'll see how this dries up, but wow, right off the bat. So again, on this Molotov, I don't know if you can see, I'm blown away. I'm literally speechless. The kit provided chrome parts in the middle here. It's literally, I mean, I can see my hand in there. Again, we'll have to see how it dries up. But for right now, spectacular. I think this is a good stopping point for this video. I just want to say to everyone who either directly commented and or inspired me to build a car, thank you so much, because I am having so much fun. There's so much going on, whether it's the engine or some new materials. I can't wait to try the technique to try to bring the white out within those dials. I'm doing the interior. I've had to mix paints for the first time. I mean, with airplanes, it's, you know, for military planes, all those colors are predetermined, but now I have to actually kind of mix and try to figure out what I want, and that's fun. I can't wait to try wiring the engine. That's going to be cool, and putting the engine together. So, you know, thank you everybody for inspiring me to do this. I'm having a blast. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy modeling.